10 WWE moments ruined by fans. Let's watch.
If WWE fans can help make a moment, match, or even an entire show, well, they can certainly break them too. While WWE would be nothing without its fans, and I don't think anybody is in any rush to return to the Thunderdome now, are they? It is true that the so-called WWE universe, or at least certain members of it, can at times be a curse rather than a blessing. From derogatory chants to ill-advised run-ins, I'm Adam Pachisi, and these are 10 WWE moments ruined by fans. Join us. Number 10, Bizarro World. The big story coming out of SummerSlam 2004 was supposed to be Randy Orton becoming the youngest world champion in WWE history. In the end, though, the main story of the show was the reactions and actions of the Toronto crowd. Heavily booing supposed favourites, including hometown boy Edge, and wildly cheering villains like Triple H, the fans flipped the script on WWE and threw some wrestlers off their game. Special scorn was reserved for the WWE title match between JBL and The Undertaker, which was long and, shall we say, deliberately paced. The fans amused themselves through it by doing a big Mexican wave and trying out new chants like "This match sucks" and "End this match." One fan almost ruined the post-match angle when he hopped the barricade and jumped onto Bradshaw's limo, which had been gimmicked to collapse when the dead man chokeslammed him onto it. This all took place before fans hijacking shows became a lot more commonplace, and the unease was clearly communicated via the announcers, who have a direct line to management backstage, as they kept referring to Toronto as Bizarro World. Number 9, Latino Beating. Over 2 years before SummerSlam 2004, WWE had other issues in the Great White North, this time in Alberta as opposed to Ontario. The May 27th, 2002 edition of Monday Night Raw was a big one for Rob Van Dam and Eddie Guerrero, who were headlining the show in a ladder match for Eddie's Intercontinental title. An exhilarating contest full of high-risk moves and stunts, arguably the most dangerous moment of the match came courtesy of an idiot fan who decided to run into the ring and tried to push Guerrero off the ladder while he was climbing up it. Luckily for Latino Heat, he saw the lunatic out of the corner of his eye and was able to jump off it at the last second. Originally believing that the fan was Crash Holly due to the way he was dressed, Eddie became enraged when he realized it was some silly punter and gave him a swift parting shot to the face as security dragged him away. Thankfully, this unscheduled run-in didn't ruin the match, even if it did momentarily take the spotlight away from two...
You just asking to get your head knocked off. Just because he saw red, because Eddie saw red. You want to get hurt. That's all.
World-class performers who were in the middle of producing something very special. Number 8, no sympathy for the dead man. One of the most shocking moments in the history of wrestling occurred at WrestleMania 30 when Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker to end the streak. Immediately after the referee had counted to 3, there was a multitude of visceral reactions from the fans inside the Superdome. Shock, disbelief, anger, this. As the dust settled and the crowd began to realize that no, this wasn't a mistake or some sick joke on WWE's part, The Undertaker began to gather himself. Having been concussed early in the bout, Mark Calloway was a little out of sorts and probably finding it quite hard to properly digest the magnitude of what had just happened. Luckily for him, one fan was there to help him out with a kind shout of, "You suck!" Yes, after getting mauled by Brock Lesnar and surrendering his perfect WrestleMania record, one fan felt the best medicine for Taker was a bit of salt in the wound. It probably didn't bother him too much, to be honest, since he didn't know if he was in New Orleans or New York and immediately collapsed backstage, but it kinda killed the mood for the viewer at home. Number 7, the death of a babyface. When the affair between Edge and Lita became public knowledge in early 2005, a small pocket of WWE fans started to express their displeasure at the couple for the infidelity, while simultaneously showing support for Lita's jilted ex-boyfriend, Matt Hardy. Matt being unceremoniously dumped by his employer only added fuel to the fire, and things came to a head when Madison Square Garden hosted the April 18th, 2005 episode of Raw. With a higher contingent of in-the-know fans in attendance, Lita was like a lamb to the slaughter when she was sent out for a segment with Trish Stratus. Though she was supposed to be the sympathetic babyface on crutches and all, the world's most famous arena treated her with nothing but disdain, showering her with loud chants of "You screwed Matt" and other things that would probably get us kicked off of YouTube. Trish was clearly flustered by the response and couldn't hold the segment together, resulting in it going completely off the rails. It was the hostile reaction to Lisa here that ultimately convinced WWE to turn her heel and partner her up with Edge just a few weeks later. Turned out alright in the end though, didn't it? Number 6, the grandest stage for a fall. The first time meeting between Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg was a dream match for fans who enjoy watching big beastly men kicking lumps out of each other, which I need to remind you should be all of us. Booked for the 20th WrestleMania, the next big thing versus The Man was a marquee attraction for such a historic show. And it would have likely gotten the desired reactions had it not come to light in the days leading up to the big night that Goldberg wouldn't be extending his one-year contract with WWE, and Brock had handed in his notice so that he could chase a dream of playing in the NFL. With no reason to cheer for either man, the MSG faithful decided to turn on them both and have a little fun during the collective swan song. Reportedly encouraged by Shane McMahon himself, the fans gave Lesnar and Bill hell out there, and they didn't have a hope of doing anything worthwhile in the circumstances. So, they didn't bother. You could patently read the annoyance on both of their faces, while special referee Steve Austin looked bemused by the situation. Number 5, the rubber chicken run-in. A great many fans were upset at WWE's decision to have Cody Rhodes lose to Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 39. A substantial portion of those trekking to California's SoFi Stadium did so with the express intention of seeing the American Nightmare finish the story and defeat the Tribal Chief to become undisputed WWE Universal Champion. A Samoan spike from Solo Sikoa put paid to that, breaking the hearts of thousands in attendance. Now, as sad as you are, you cannot, under any circumstances, throw a rubber chicken into the ring. Yes, one cheeky scamp thought the best way to underline the pathos of Cody's bitter loss was to chuck a dog toy onto the mat next to him. Naturally, the image went viral and took some of the shine off what had been a great match and a significant moment. A couple of weeks after the fact, Rhodes mentioned the rubber chicken in a promo, essentially making it canon. Fingers crossed when Cody finally, hopefully, gets his big win over Roman at WrestleMania 40 that fans refrain from doing anything so regrettable. Bastards.
No, I was thinking that he has to like play off the rubber chicken in his favor. He has to breathe. We have to see the rubber chicken again. Like, I want to see Cody with a rubber chicken.
On the Hitman. There are few living wrestlers as revered as Bret Hart.
Just as like a ha-ha.
Best there was and best there ever will be is routinely cited by many of today's crop as a direct inspiration and hero, and there aren't many accolades even in retirements that he hasn't had bestowed upon him. In 2019, Bret became a two-time WWE Hall of Famer when he, alongside the late Jim the Anvil Neidhart, were inducted as the Hart Foundation. A special night was soiled by one complete and utter, shall we say, twat who decided to make it all about himself. The deluded Zachary Madsen rushed the stage and tackled the Hitman as he and Jim Neidhart's daughter Natalia were giving their acceptance speeches. There was panic and confusion as Hart hit the floor, with security and wrestlers in attendance immediately hitting the ring to remove him. On top of facing criminal charges, Madsen also had to bear the brunt of a few well-placed digs from the likes of Bret's nephew Harry Smith and the Revival's Dash Wilder, who almost took his stupid little head off with an uppercut. Mercifully, Hart was relatively unharmed and able to finish his speech. Number 3, universally panned. SummerSlam 2016 should have been an incredible evening for Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Here they were at one of the biggest shows of the year, competing to become the first ever WWE Universal Champion. How far they'd both come, etc, etc. Well, fate had other ideas. As though the match itself was perfectly decent, things outside of their control made it one that they would likely not want to revisit anytime soon. Not only was was Balor injured on a powerbomb to the ringside barricade early on, but the fans in the Barclays Center were more concerned with voicing their displeasure at the title belt's design than following the action. They booed the reveal, they booed JoJo announcing the thing, they booed every time the camera cut to it. Basically, the WWE Universal title belt became the biggest heel in the business for about 20 minutes. And it's a shame because the match was basically never really given a chance, even though the New York crowd seemingly liked both participants. Now yes, we can all agree that garish red thing with the giant WWE logo was perhaps not the most aesthetically pleasing prize, but there was no need to take it out on the performers risking their necks.
Damn, so they didn't even,
Number
like,
2,
really
Bash
pay
at the
attention
Beach
to the
Ball.
match.
If Seth Rollins and Finn Balor thought their SummerSlam fan woes were all over, well, all they had to do was wait another year, because at the 2017 iteration of the pay-per-view, those inside the Barclays Center got up to their old tricks once again. Actually, to be fair, this was a new trick, although an irritating one for the wrestlers nonetheless. Rollins was teaming with Dean Ambrose to take on Raw Tag Team Champions Sheamus and Cesaro, aka The Bar, when a rogue beach ball became the focus of fan attention. The ball had been introduced during the previous match between Balor and Bray Wyatt. With each serve and
Some of
volley,
these
the
are
Swiss
funny.
Superman got more and more irate, to the point that he decided to take matters into his own hands by running into the crowd, grabbing the inflatable nuisance and ripping it in half. His actions drew a mixture of cheers and boos, but Cesaro likely didn't care since, you know, he had a match to wrestle and all that. He later revealed that WWE staff thanked him for doing it when he got backstage, and the company quickly banned beach balls from live events. Number 1, disrespecting the Divas. The post-WrestleMania Raw crowds were good fun in the beginning, weren't they? They were loud, they were interactive, and they were pretty much harmless, so long as they were popping for debuts or fandangoing long into the night. At one point, the crowds took a turn, and the show became much more about them than any of the, you know, actual stars of the show. At no point was that clearer than during a 6-woman tag match the night after WrestleMania 31. As Paige, Naomi, and AJ Lee in her last WWE outing took on Natalya and the Bella Twins, fans popped themselves by chanting "You suck," followed by the name of the significant other of someone in the match. Tyson Kidd, John Cena, CM Punk, they all got a name check, and frankly it was insulting at best and completely unacceptable at worst. The women shrugged it off and got on with the task at hand, but it was still an unwanted, not to mention disrespectful distraction, and a shame for Lee, who hasn't wrestled since and had to sign off her in-ring career listening to people childishly reminding her who her husband was.
I get your feelings might have been hurt, but you weren't the only one being booed during that time. So people are weird. Just I wouldn't quit. Maybe take a break, but to quit like that, I don't know. People, you gotta ignore that shit and keep going. But that's gonna do it for this reaction, y'all. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see y'all in the next one. Toodles.